Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lex, and I would greatly appreciate it if you want to support me, if you want to support the channel, if you would consider liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. It helps to get the videos out there, and it inspires me to keep creating. I ain't gonna hold y'all. I was not planning to film this review today. I was actually planning to film it tomorrow. I wanted to focus on Married at First Sight content today, but y'all were getting on my nerves in the comments, okay? And I know we fam, and fam gets on each other's nerves, but honestly, some of y'all were really saying stuff in the comments where I was like, did I say this? So I just want to talk real quick. If you want to just get to where the recap starts, just fast forward a few minutes, but I want to talk real quick. Number one, for those of y'all who are claiming that I was slut shaming Lauren, I just need to know what y'all are talking about. There was nowhere in my video that I slut shamed this woman. And it actually hurts, and that's why I'm addressing it, because I've always tried to have this channel be a safe space, particularly for women. Because I feel like a lot of even YouTubers on this platform that talk about these reality shows, they will say some awful things about women, make some really heinous judgments about women in order to uplift the men on these shows. So the sheer fact that a lot of you guys, not a lot, let me not cap, it was only like 2 or 3 of you, but it doesn't matter because I read it and I saw it. That was a lot for me, and that really hurt because I have never slut shamed Lauren. I've never slut shamed Lauren. I think number 2, those of y'all putting words in my mouth saying that I said a woman cannot date casually before marriage is crazy. I am a married woman who dated before marriage. I don't know what you guys are talking about. A lot of y'all put words into my mouth that I never said. I said, and I will say again, that I think it is wild to go through the process of an entire reality TV show, all these interviews, all of these different things that you need to do to get on Love is Blind whilst being in the middle of something. And in episode, I believe it was 7, Lauren said, oh, if it worked out with that guy, I would have stopped the process of Love is Blind. Like, to me, I just don't get it. To me, I don't understand why you would even want to go through with this show if you're like just casually dating and seeing what happens outside of it. I think some of y'all thought I was defending Dave, which is crazy work. I will never defend Dave in my entire life on this channel. I promise y'all, I will never defend that man in my entire life. But the sheer fact that a lot of y'all were saying that I was slut shaming Lauren because I was saying that she shouldn't have dated before getting married is crazy work. My question at the time, and this is before we had further evidence in episode 9, right, was, why would you want to go through the process of this if you were just dating outside of the show? To me, I don't get it. I still am confused why anybody wants to come on Love is Blind, y'all. So I don't know if that's, maybe some of y'all understood that angle and some of y'all understand that that's what I meant. But I guess for some reason, some of y'all interpreted it as me as saying, oh, if a woman's getting married, she shouldn't be able to date before the show. Yes. Do I, to me personally, think, how could you do that? You know, in terms of like, I could never do that because I don't know, I catch feelings. So I wouldn't be able to be with someone and then know I was going to leave for the show in a week and then just be done. But that's that on that. That my bigger question was just what is going on? So on top of that, a bunch of y'all spoiled the show. I actually turned the comments off for a little while. By the time you guys see this video, the comments should be back up. But a bunch of y'all spoiled the show, spoiled episode 9, the conversations with the friends, and all of this different stuff. But the TLDR is my opinion has changed since hearing Lauren's defense, since hearing the friend's explanation, since Lauren was allowed to speak for herself. Dave is a snake, y'all. And I've always had bad vibes about Dave from day one. He is a snake. I do not agree with him. I do not agree with what he is doing. And I want to make that clear. So anyway, if your comment was deleted, because I know some of y'all love to come back and be like, she deleted my comment. Yes, if your comment was deleted, you either spoiled it or you were like calling me saying I was sex shaming or slut shaming or whatever. And I was just like, no, I'm not dealing with that. I'm not having threads and threads of comments of y'all saying that about me when all I've tried to do on this channel is make this a safe space for everybody. I've been very careful the language that I've used pertaining to certain people, whether it's Devon, whether it's Ben, whether it's Lauren, like whoever. I have been very careful. So if you don't see your comment, that's the reason why. Anyways, we are going to talk about episode 9, season 8, episode 9. So strap in. We will get into it. This was the family and friend visits. And as I said, Dave is a snake and I'm watching that man. All right, so episode 9, we start off with Taylor and Daniel. They are going first to meet Daniel's family. This is the first time he's ever brought a girl home. All of these people got huge houses, okay? Crazy. That Minneapolis money, I guess.
Michael.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. No, but the cool thing is that this is how...
That's all I know.
This is her life.
Yeah.
And so this has been our life.
So for Taylor, she has always felt very, very comfortable with Daniel and the words he says. She loved how he referred to her as the mother of his children. He always says that he's right there with her. It always felt like a partnership from day one, and that's really what melted her. Now, as you remember, Daniel's sister was born blind, so his mom was like, look, this has always been our norm for us. With a daughter who was born blind, she has always loved people without seeing their face. So for us, we know it's possible. We believe in the process. We believe that this can happen. You know, Taylor does admit that her family is taking a bit longer to come around to this, but she does really hope that they will come around, especially because her parents have been together since they were 14 and 15 years old. Now for Daniel's mom, she's never seen him as in love, as excited about any other woman. So for her, she is on board. Daniel's family loves this. They love the process. They are very supportive, but his parents really do like Taylor. And his dad says, if you guys are asking, yes, we approve of this marriage without reservations. And I love to see it. Again, it does seem like Daniel and Taylor, they have really repaired things. I don't know if Taylor, like I said, she just realized she looked like a clown. I did hear that she apparently came out and said that she found the guy she was talking about and it was never Daniel. So poor Daniel was catching strays for no reason. Anyways, on to Lauren and Dave. So Lauren and Dave, they are meeting up at the cycling studio that Lauren works at part-time with Lauren's friends. We get this montage of Dave struggling on the bike. And I will tell you, cycling is a hard workout. It is a hard full body workout. I really like cycling. I actually just bought an exercise bike, me and my husband, and we love that joint. So anyways, they get off. They're all going to talk in the back. And Dave immediately is like, I don't like being told what to do, talking about the class. I'm like, Dave, no one cares. We don't care. So immediately Dave brings up the fact that his friends are saying that Lauren was seeing somebody a week before she met. Well, it's changed. It fluctuates between a week, 2 days, 1 day, 48 hours. We don't really know, but apparently Lauren was seeing somebody before she came to the show, and the friends are already immediately in shock. For him, he claims that it is a lot because he has a connection with the guy, he's friends with his friends, and he also has to explain to his friends and family because they are wondering what's going on. And again, that is the part that is the most confusing. As I was talking about this with my husband, we low-key were like, do these two know each other and this is all staged for the show? Because it just doesn't make a lot of sense, any of this. The fact that people were talking, the fact that he knows this person, the fact that they were friends. I just have a lot of questions. It's giving staged for Love is Blind. It's giving, we already knew each other. Let's stage something for Love is Blind because I don't know about these two. I'm very confused.
Like they hung out like right away before she left.
Absolutely.
And I was like, okay, that's...
She was with us.
This is where my mind spirals because I'm like, would she have ever told me about this?
Bar prior to
Like,
going on the show.
yeah.
Obviously,
That's
you're
gonna be-
looking like
That's gonna be
Talk to
just about as similar as to
So for Dave, he's very unsure. He's having doubts about what's real. So the friends are like, okay, we know this guy and look, he dated somebody that we worked with for 7 years and broke it off. He is not serious. He is all kinds of unserious. So Lauren happened to match with him on Hinge, and that is how they connected. They then get into how they met the last guy that Lauren dated. She's been around him. Like, they know this person, and it isn't him. This guy is a separate guy that apparently she just happened to meet, but there's no further connection from there. So the guy actually apparently messaged one of Lauren's friends, and they hadn't talked since 2019, but she was basically like, or he was basically like, you want to blow up this marriage? So the friends are like, he just wants to be on TV. Do not believe him. He's a snake. He's just trying to get attention. Now, that context makes a lot of sense, right? That context makes a huge amount of sense. And from the beginning, because again, a lot of y'all seem to think that I thought that, oh my God, Lauren couldn't date somebody before the show. And that was probably, no, I never said that. I never said that. For me, I just needed to have a greater understanding of this timeline. Because again, there was a lot of days thrown out. It was 48 hours, it was 2 days, it was 1 week. So now knowing, okay, this is just a random guy she met with on Hinge, whatever, cool. You can meet with the guy on Hinge before the show. So Dave is saying he is struggling to get there. For him, he is unsure if she was seeing the guy right before he left. At this point, Dave is trying to frame it like he is the victim. Like he doesn't know what to believe, that she's just pulling one over on him, and he's just such a nice guy that wanted to be on the show. So the friend asked the question that I wanted to hear. And she's basically like, okay, but before you came on the show, were you on the apps? Were you flirting with people? Were you just kind of casually around? And he's like, yeah. And see, that's the biggest thing, right? That's what makes Dave lose a lot of his credibility as well. And that's what I said from the beginning, that Dave was also on apps. For Dave to be sitting here pretending like he wasn't on the apps, like he wasn't talking to girls. I mean, he even told a story about how when he goes to Vegas, girls come up to him. So Dave loses a lot of credibility. Dave is playing the victim. And obviously, as we're now seeing, this was just a very casual, oh, I met this guy on Tinder and maybe we hung out for a little while, right? It gives a lot of context. And again, I think that type of thing is fine. Would me, myself, Lex be able to handle that? No, because I'm a girly that catches feelings. But if you're somebody that does not catch feelings doing that type of stuff, okay. Again, context is key. And that's all I ever said I wanted in the previous videos, was more context from Lauren's side. So Dave, once again, is like, I'm just trying to figure out what's going on. I just need to know what's true and what's not. I really don't know. And again, Dave is playing this game like Lauren is such a liar and he's such an upstanding guy. And I'm like, please be so for real. Please be so for real. Because, sir, you must have got that phone back in Honduras and called your family here to talk ish about Lauren. Because there's no other way, unless the two of y'all know each other. Unless this is staged for Love is Blind, there is just no way that your family and friends would have had so much prior information. Dave, I'm watching you. So the friends reassure him again that his friends are trying to stir something up. They're trying to make something that's not true. He's like, my friends are just looking for my best interest. They love and care about me, blah, blah, blah. No, your friends are obviously trying to take a story and run with it and defame this woman who, yes, okay, she was just hanging out with a Tinder fling or a Hinge fling. Very different than what was originally presented, that she had a partner, or that it was somebody that she was considering, if it worked out, getting off the show. Again, context is key. So the friends leave, and again, Lauren starts crying. She hates getting emotional. He claims he hates seeing her cry. Then why are you doing this to her? If you hate seeing her cry, then why are you doing this? He claims that he's trying to block out all the other noise. And again, I hate how Dave is doing this. Everyone's talking, everyone's buzzing, everybody's saying all this stuff. Why is that happening, Dave? Because you did that. You did that. There's no other reason that people are talking other than what you're putting out there, because nobody should have any idea that y'all are even engaged at this point. Who would know that unless you somehow got that phone back in Honduras and you were calling home? I'm watching you, Dave. So now he said he needs to talk to his friends, or she wants to talk to his friends so she can tell her side. And I think that is very, very fair. With all of this, it cannot just be what Dave and his friends and his sister and everyone heard. Lauren deserves to tell her side just as much as Dave and his people deserve to tell their side, right? Okay. So we get on to Devon and Virginia's family visit. They go to meet Devon's family.
Number one in their life.
Yep.
That's something really big that I always wanted for him.
Yeah.
To have a equally yoked
Yep.
and raise your children.
Devon's mom's white and his dad's black. I didn't know Devon was mixed. I don't know if he ever mentioned it. But anyways, Virginia once again is telling his family the reason why she fell in love with him is because she could sense his heart. She could sense that he was such a great guy. She loves how he talked about his faith. And mom is loving that. Mom says, look, that's how we raised our kids. God first. So for us, we love to hear that that's also something that you were raised in. Your family presumably is also Christian, and we want him to be in an equally yoked relationship and to raise the kids the same way. So everybody there is on the same page regarding faith, regarding all of that. And I love that for them. I love that they can all relate on their faith. But that's the only thing I feel like I see Devon and Virginia relating on is faith. And for some people, that's enough for a marriage. So I'm not trying to, I'm not judging anybody's life. For some people, that's enough. But I just feel like with Devon and Virginia, as I kept saying, I don't see anything else. So to me, it's like, is the faith the only thing that you guys see eye to eye on or not? So the sister is asking, since you're a bit older, have you thought about having kids? And I was like, oh, nah, you didn't have to say since you're a bit older. She's only 30. What is she, 35? I'm like, dang, why she had to do her like that? Now, Virginia does say that she has frozen her eggs because she thought about it in the past, but she and Devon have also talked about a time limit, which is 2 to 6 years. Now, the sister's like, whoa. Devon always said 5, so that's kind of crazy. And Devon's like, oh yeah, no, actually, she was the one that wanted to put on an extra year to make it 6. So they seem to be again on the same page. I don't know. Something about it just gives that both of them want to be married so bad that they're willing to just say yes to the other person. But again, I really wonder how that looks and works in the long run. So I believe it was the dad or the brother. He asked, okay, so what are you guys 50-50? Are you traditional? How does it work? Now, Virginia says she's cool with 50-50. They did talk about having maybe one shared bank account and then 2 separate bank accounts. She's willing to like help and cook and clean and do more of those traditional roles around the house to help Devon. But when it comes to finances and things like that, she is willing to do whatever works for the family. I want to say this. Virginia gives me desperate vibes. She gives me desperate vibes. That's all I got. So for her, she does talk about wanting to build generational wealth. And again, she mentioned investing in the last episode. So it does definitely seem like Virginia wants to make that dollar stretch further. So she does mention the prenup. And the sister, I believe, is like, oh, so is that the reason why you wanted the prenup? And Virginia's like, no, not really. And this day and age, I don't really understand why more couples don't consider a prenup. It just seems like something that everybody should look into. And look, I'm gonna keep it real with you. If I was dating regularly and a guy brought up wanting a prenup, would I feel some type of way? Probably, yeah. Like, I ain't gonna hold you. I'm not gonna, like, if my husband was like, I want a prenup, I would have probably been like, wait. But I do think, at least in the context of Love is Blind, Married at First Sight, I think it should be a prerequisite that these couples have prenups, because you just don't know the person. You're marrying a stranger. And so for both of them, they seemingly have things and assets that they are bringing into this relationship, so it should be theirs. Now, again, I feel like Virginia is not the most honest about why she wants a prenup, but I'm not saying she has to be like, oh, I think Devon's unsuccessful, but I just wish that Virginia would be a little more open about why she wants a prenup, because I think whenever she's brought it up to either Devon or brought it up to his family, people have been a little bit confused. So Devon's mom is like, okay, but what about if one of you guys gets sick? Or, I think the sister chimes in at one point and says, yeah, or if Devon doesn't want to put, our parents in a nursing home, would you be cool with them living with y'all? And Virginia says yes on all fronts. And again, it's just, they're both so quick to say yes to what the other says. I just feel like the fact that there's no questions is crazy to me. And I get it. I understand saying yes at the dinner table with his whole entire family there. I do get it. But it just seems like they're both so agreeable towards one another with no pushback on anything. And I can tell that they both have opinions on things that they're just choosing not to share. Now, overall, Devon's family, they really like Virginia. They get a really good vibe about her. The fam seems to like her. And then they go outside and meet the pet pig. And I was like, I understand this is Minnesota, but why y'all got a pet pig? Anyway, Virginia steps away to go to the restroom and they have a family chat without her. So the parents, once again, they really like her, and notice dad said nothing. What is it on these shows where mom is doing all the talking and dad says nothing? Because dad, I don't think, said a word, but they like her. However, the sister is a bit skeptical about the prenup. Now for Devon, he says, look, at first I wasn't really sure why she would suggest it, but as she broke it down more and said that when a divorce happens, the worst happens, it does make sense for us to both be able to leave with what we came in with, and then whatever we make together, we can split it up. So for him, he says, look, we would have to sit down and draft it out more and really think about it, but I will be willing to sign it. So it does sound like they had a further conversation with this prenup off camera. Again, I don't see any reason on this show and on these kind of marry a stranger shows why you wouldn't be open to a prenup if you're not there for the wrong reasons. That's me personally, though. But overall, family really likes Devon. The visit goes well. Sarah and Ben. So they meet up with Ben's friends. Was anybody surprised that these are Ben's friends?
Full zest for life, someone who's like
Zest for life.
Yeah,
I
someone who's
love
just
that.
like just optimistic, and that's exactly Ben. Like I was like, I literally got everything I
don't know why. I know this is a little judgmental, but I thought that It Out was gonna come 5 cookie cutter guys that looked exactly like Ben. I thought it was going to be a bro fest. I really did. But Ben has this very diverse group of friends, some women, some men, different ages. So one of Ben's friends is asking how they match core values wise. And I was like, oh boy, I started sweating. Now, Ben says he wouldn't have gotten down on one knee if they did not match. Sarah does bring up how for her, equality is extremely important. So when she heard that Ben was super religious, he goes to church, he goes to service, for her, she knew because her sister is gay that she needed someone who was on the same page with that. So the friend does say, okay, well, you do know that he goes to service, he's religious, so would you be open to going to service with him? And Sarah says she is very spiritual. She'd be down to try it. She's not sure. Again, it's giving. We have the privilege to decide that we're going to ignore the parts that we don't agree on and agree on the parts that we do. But all right, if it's working for them, it's cool. One of the friends chimes in and she's like, I'm gay, actually. So, I have a girlfriend. I was like, oh, so Ben got a gay friend. And then another one of the friends, she was agnostic. So I was just like, wow, Ben is friends with this diverse group of people. That just shocked me so much. I don't know, maybe it gives me a little more hope that maybe Ben is genuinely the type that would be willing to change his views. But I don't know. I'm still going to have to see. So Monica and Joey, they're back at the apartment after the horrific meeting with her sister. Monica dumps a bunch of clean clothes on the carpet and Joey's like, what are you doing? And I was like, what are you doing? She also never has socks on her feet. We have seen Monica's bare feet more times than I care to see on this show. So Monica's like, how do you feel like the visits went with my family? Joey says that it went well with her parents, but didn't really go super well with the sister.
No, I know. We will. Trust me. We will.
Is that like make it or break it? No, but it's like...
He flat out says, I don't feel like she liked me. Joey is wondering, was there anything that I actually did for your sister to not like me? And Monica's like, no, she's just really tough. She's never really approved of a significant other. That's just how she is. And I want to pause right there because first off, the people on these shows have weird relationships with their siblings. Her sister, Dave's sister, I don't know what's going on with the sisters on this show, but it is getting weird. Second of all, I am so tired of this. Oh, she's just protective of me, so she's just gonna be rude for no reason, unsolicited to anybody that I bring around. It's rude. The sister was very rude, and there was no real reason for her to act like that. Didn't like her attitude. So Joey asks, I don't know. It's kind of giving jealous. And I was like, oh, not Joey saying what I said last episode, that this girl is giving jealous. It's giving my man didn't propose and my man still isn't proposing, so I'm going to try to sabotage your relationships. Now, I'm not saying it's that intentional, but I don't know. Child, so Joey was like me. Joey was very much like me in that situation because there was no reason. It was very unsolicited to be talking about divorce, talking about him being an actor. There was nothing that he did to prove that he was that person. Moving on. Daniel and Taylor, they go to meet Taylor's family, and then Daniel's family is also going to be showing up.
Long commitment for me, and so I take it very seriously.
And we're in agreement with that. It's a lifelong commitment. And
What do you think about
his parents? So they're already having the parents meet. Again, it seems to be going very well with this couple. I don't know. Maybe they had some off-camera conversations about things because they seem to be, like you would think from the beginning, that they were doing amazing. So for Daniel, his mom is really taking some time to come around to the situation, but dad is a lot more optimistic about this whole thing. Sorry, for Taylor's family. So neither one of them has seen the show, Taylor or Daniel, because they're asking, so why would you guys even want to do this process? Neither one of them saw the show, but Daniel claims that he saw the success of Love is Blind, and combined with the fact that his sister being blind and still being able to love people without seeing them, it really inspired him to come on the show and see that this could work. All right, Daniel, you redeemed yourself with the part about your sister, because I was like, the success? Because this show has a horrible success rate. Now, for Taylor's mom, she's really struggling because she felt like she was left out of this entire process. And Taylor's like, well, I did tell you as soon as possible. Now, Taylor reveals that she would always go to her parents for relationship help and things as such. Dad makes a joke and he just says, look, I'm just shocked that you were able to go that long without your cell phone. And I was like, not them telling on you. Between you having that followers app and your dad telling on you, girl, you are social media obsessed. So Daniel's family arrives as well, and they get into more conversation about the process, how difficult it is. But both families do agree that in their family, they don't have divorce. So if you get married, it's for life. There's no divorce. We're not looking at this as, oh, if it doesn't work out, it's done. Okay. Now the parents leave, his parents leave, bye-bye. Everybody kind of heads out, and Daniel wants to sit down privately with Taylor's parents because he did not get the chance to ask for her hand in marriage. And so he wants to be respectful to her family and ask. He does go ahead and ask them, and they do say yes. Even though mom is still a bit skeptical, they really see the good in him. And you know what? I really like to see this. Taylor, if you F this up, I'm gonna be so mad at you, because that was cute. The scene was very cute. It was actually beautiful to see the families come together. I feel like we really have not seen that on this show prior to the wedding. So to see the two families come together and be able to talk and get a little bit of a taste of what things are going to look like. They talk about Christmases already. That was very nice to see. And I really hope it works out, because I actually loved watching that scene. I know that we get bored, but it was really nice to actually see a genuine people taking this seriously and bringing their families into it type relationship dynamic. Dun, dun, dun. All right. We are to Lauren and David. They are back at the apartment, and basically David's friends are supposed to be coming over, but he tells Lauren they're on standby in case you don't really want to have them over. They'll come if we want them to come, but if not, we'll see. So Lauren's like, why would they not want to come? Or why would I not want them to come? He's like, I don't want them to make you uncomfortable with everything. I know this is a lot. And again, just the way that Dave is phrasing things, as Lauren and her friends have already tried to kind of start to tell you, this is not really a thing. And the fact that Dave is phrasing it as if she's lying is very messed up. It is not good to go into a relationship and already accuse your partner of lying and try to position them as this liar or promiscuous or whatever he's trying to put out there. So Lauren is still puzzled on how this is affecting them so much. And he says, well, I am confused on whether you were flirting with anyone before you came to the show. Were you not flirting, where you were with someone before you came to the show? Lauren, once again, is like, no. How many times do I have to tell you this guy was just a casual fling on Hinge?
Like, being friends with benefits with someone for like 2 months equates to me not being ready for marriage. And like, that's where I'm struggling too. I'm not trying to like hide anything like I do, or like, I don't know how else to show you that like I'm here and like
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be like doing this.
I am still in love with you, and I still am there with you. I'm just also trying to wrap my head around this whole situation.
We just met up. It was a friend with benefits. Okay, Lauren had a friend with benefits. That's it. She had an FWB, baby. She got her a little something, and then that was that. And that is very, very different than what has been positioned on the show. Even the editing of episode 7, you know Love is Blind was itching to make this oh my God, she had a boyfriend before the show and now she came and she's still with the boyfriend. And that's clearly not the case. She had a friend with benefits. I'm not judging that at all. As I said, if you have the heart for it and you don't catch feelings, more power to you. If you had a friend with benefits where it was very clear that this was not going to be a thing, you guys were just having fun, and then you was going to head on and do your thing on the show, that is totally fine. Why y'all didn't give me a chance to watch the show so I could give that opinion? So Lauren is even asking Dave, did you flirt with anybody before you came on the show? And Dave is like, whoa. And it's like, yeah, Dave, don't play. That's the other thing I've said. Do not play, Dave, because you know that you've had somebody on this show. You know you had somebody before the show. So Dave doesn't answer, but he says, well, flirting is very different than going home and sleeping with another guy at night. And Lauren's like, that's not what happened. I did not sleep with him. I never told him it was serious. We literally would just meet up for coffee, maybe go back a little bit and hang out, but that's not it. So Dave keeps hinging on this thing that it was just a day prior. It was 2 days prior. He heard from somebody that it was just a few days ago. He said he heard from one of the guy apparently went skiing with one of his friends and told him directly that that was what was going on. So Dave is like, I don't want to choose between my friends and you. But for Lauren, she's like, I didn't get a chance to defend myself. And I totally agree with that. As I said, I also just feel like the editing of this show, they was really trying to make this into something it clearly is not. Okay, I can see that it was clearly just a friend with benefits. It is very obvious, and Dave is trying to play the victim. And again, Dave doesn't like Lauren. And if you don't like her, like I said before, we see, oh my God, we see this on these shows so much, where it's like, rather than being able to make a clean break and just leave, you have to tear the other person down, defame them, make them look bad. When in reality, this guy was just a little flang for Lauren before she was going to go on this show. And there is nothing wrong with that. Would there have been something wrong if she was in a committed relationship to the point where the guy was under the impression they were in a committed relationship and then she coldly said, we done? Yeah. But it's like, okay, if you just had a casual flang, ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that, sis. Okay. So Dave once again says that how is he supposed to believe that this is not true? And that's what's frustrating me the most about this, Dave. It's like, what is there to not believe? What is there to not believe? You clearly called your friends up in Honduras and told them some lies, and then you're pretending that they heard from somewhere. They heard from you. They heard from you. It's either that or y'all two know each other and this is all staged. Because this is not making any sense. This is not making any sense. So Dave is like, I'm confused how you could end it with somebody just 2 days beforehand, and you're claiming it's a casual hookup. That's weird. How can you not see that? It's like, Dave, it was a casual hookup. She didn't have serious feelings for the guy. Lauren talks about how she met up with the guy for ice cream right before she left, and he was telling her about another Hinge date just 2 days prior. It was never meant to be anything serious. Neither one of them was under the impression that there was anything serious. And that again changes everything, because it's fine to have a little fun. That changes everything. And the fact that Dave is trying to weaponize his friends and like triangulate everyone against Lauren to make this point is crazy. When you hear the explanation, what Dave is doing is crazy work. Dave is out here hoping that people are misogynistic and are going to slut shame this woman and say, oh my God, she was with so many men before the show. When it's clearly that's not the case. That is not the case at all. And she definitely was not in a relationship. So Lauren clarifies even more that this was a 2-month friend with benefits situation. Yes, she should have probably ended it. Yes, it was probably, and I'm not going to judge her for that. I'm not going to judge her for that, because how many people have had a talking, we're in the talking stage, or we're in a situationship and you should end it, but you kind of just let it ride on because you're bored and probably lonely. Because let's be for real, if you're going on this show, there's an aspect of desperation. So baby, I could believe that there was a guy she was talking to for 2 months and just, let it go on too long. That makes total sense. And I feel like Lauren is being very honest. That's the thing. One thing that also, to me at least, points out that Lauren is telling the truth, that it really was nothing, is that she's telling him everything. There is nothing she's hiding. She's leaving no stone unturned. She's even admitting that, yeah, she let this go on for super long, even though it shouldn't have. So Dave throws his sister into it again. And if he brings up this sister one more time, I'm about to crash out. He brings up how his sister has mutual connections and is asking, who is this girl that you just got engaged to? Why did she have a boyfriend coming in? It is so messed up. It is so messed up. And the fact that until now, Dave is letting the people in his life run rampant with this theory rather than just talking to Lauren is crazy. This man is a menace, a sociopath. He is a menacing sociopath. And I 100% regret what I said in the last video, even implying in the slightest that Dave had a leg to stand on, because this is crazy work. This is absolute and utter crazy work, what he is doing to this woman. So Lauren is like, okay, after they keep going back and forth for a little while, Lauren's like, so do you want your friends to come or no? And Dave's like, I'm gonna be honest, I don't really think this is the time right now. For Lauren, she is wondering when she gets a chance to talk to his friends and say her piece. And again, this is a huge thing that narcissists do. Narcissists, they don't ever want you to have connections with their friends, with their family, because they want to be able to control the narrative. And that's exactly what Dave wants to do, is control the narrative. So Dave claims that he's been tempted to walk away, but because he's still so in love with her and he's never had a love like this, he's continued to stay. He claims he's even had friends and family say, why does it have to be an engagement? Why can't you guys just date? Absolute menace. Absolute menace. Triangulation at its finest. So for Lauren, she's like, I love you too. Like, I really do want to be with you too. I still believe in this. And I really would rather us not go separate ways tonight, because Dave has also, it's revealed at some point in the conversation that Dave has not been sleeping there. Because Dave also brings up the argument, I forgot, that she was doing this, meaning effing someone right before the show, but when he's wanted to get intimate with her, she doesn't want to do that. And Lauren brings up, you haven't even slept here the past week. Child, this man is a menace. So Lauren, once again, is like, I'd rather us not part ways tonight. And Dave is like, well, see, that's where we differ. I do. I don't think I could be here right now. It's just too much for me. Dude, if you don't like her, just say you don't like her, because this is foul. I don't like this. This is foul. This made me mad. This episode made me mad, and I wish y'all just let me see it on my own. But anyway, this episode made me mad. So Dave claims that he's not walking away, but he's not sure what to do anymore. And Lauren's like, then go hang out with your friends then. And she leaves, and he does go meet up with his friends. Dave is an absolute narcissist and menace. Yes, I clearly see now, y'all. Clearly, 1000% clearly see that this was just a friends with benefits. Again, it was just a casual fling. Lauren just wanted her a little something before she left. It was nothing serious. She said it was 2 months long and they were just meeting up for ice cream and effing. That is nothing. That is nothing. And I think the part that's even more menacing is that Dave was doing that ish. You know that Dave was doing that. Ooh, baby, I got mad watching this episode, because no, I don't like men like Dave. No, sir. And I really, really don't like it when it's being framed that Lauren had this serious relationship. Because he's playing into these ideas of misogyny, this idea that she's a cheater, this idea that she's promiscuous, and all of that is wrong, 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 wrong. I'm sure there's plenty of people on here that have had a casual fling with somebody before getting on this show. So I'm not going to hold that against her. As I said, if she was in a serious, established relationship, would I have thought differently? Maybe so. But the fact that it was clear that it was, you know, they were having conversations about his other dates. Nobody that's serious about someone is talking about other dates to somebody they want to be with. And it's very clear that that's the case. Ciao. And we end off with Sarah and Ben. So they are back at the apartment and Sarah's scrolling on her phone and she goes, oh! And Ben's like, what happened? What happened? And Sarah is like, oh my God, there's a girl on TikTok that's crying about how they're filming in Minneapolis and she's tired of shitty men being celebrated. Oh, Ben's like, oh, yeah, I know she's referencing me. Now remember, in the cast reveal, I showed y'all some of those TikToks, so you can go back and see those TikToks in the cast reveal video. And yes, Ben's name was one of the people that was thrown around. So Ben goes, I know she's referencing me. He's like, oh, I'm not gonna lie, I actually saw that TikTok earlier at the winery and I just blocked her. And Sarah's like, what? So Ben continues and he's like, I haven't talked to her in 4 years. She was just a Tinder hookup. He met this girl on Tinder, but they had never hooked up. It was never anything serious. Basically, he says that they went to a few bars together and then he ghosted her.
Tell you, I do love you and I do feel like I want to marry you and that we can live forever.
I was like, damn. And Sarah's like, okay, but wait. So you guys never hooked up? Nothing? You never kissed? Like, what is it? He's like, no, we kissed. I've been to her house. But it was one of those things where like, oh, we're going on a date. So I picked her up and then we went. And Sarah's like, okay, but if you just ghosted this girl, why would she be bringing it up now? It just doesn't really make sense to me. And he's like, look, I don't know. I mean, she's probably going to make some accusations. She's probably going to say some stuff. And I just feel like that's not really right. So Sarah is like, okay, so you guys haven't talked in 4 years. She's like, okay, well, maybe there might have been a DM within the 4 years. And I'm like, whoa. I'm like, Ben is lying all throughout this conversation. I'm not going to say whether I think it's right or wrong. Because, baby, y'all know when I give my opinions on what these things sound like. But Ben is lying up and down through this conversation. And I feel like that's a red flag. That is a major red flag. Because then he takes the story back and says, oh, actually, no, there might have been a DM. I mean, it was never me that initiated it, though. He tries to be like, I really love you, Sarah. I'm really serious about this. All I want is you. None of this other stuff matters. And he's like, I really could see us together. He starts spiraling low key and he's like regurgitating, like, I love you. You're the best. And Sarah's like, okay, I'm going to take your word for it this time. But if anything else comes out, it's a wrap. Sarah doesn't ask enough questions for me. Sarah does not ask enough questions for me between the differences in political views, between the differences in religious views, between the accusations that are coming out. And every time, word for word, bar for bar, it's, I'll just take your word for it. Yeah. It's not like that. Oh, no. Now, we saw these TikToks going around. I don't know if the girl has come out yet with more stuff. So for me, if I was Sarah, I would be feeling very, very worried. But if more stuff has come out, y'all will see a T video at some point in the next few days. Anyway, that is where we end our episode off. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for supporting the channel as usual. And as I said, I'm not mad at y'all when we have disagreements, but I just want y'all to remember, let me have the full context of things before you comment on me. And don't call me out my name because I'm going to be real upset. But I still love y'all. Thank you guys for supporting this channel. Thank you guys for literally making it possible for YouTube to be a big stream of income, like, you know, one stream of income in my life. Like, you guys are the best, and it really does mean the world to me. So thank you for supporting the channel. Anyways, I will talk to you guys in the next one. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. It helps to get the videos out there, and I will talk to you guys in the next one.